This is one of what will hopefully be many little talks that we're going to have over the course of this channel's life. So you can take this as a little intro and a warning. This video contains no actual visual footage, just the logo. So maybe listen on your phone. I'd love to hear your opinions. You can follow me at Old RPG Gaming on Twitter. Yeah, enjoy the video, or enjoy the conversation, I should say. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Hey guys, what is up? And welcome back to Old RPG Talks Wrestling. Now, I know it's a little bit late because we've come to the end of the week, and what a wonderful week it has been for wrestling. We had NXT Takeover Dallas, we had Wrestlemania 32, and then the Raw after WrestleMania is always a fucking awesome one, and this time around was no different. What we're going to do in this video is talk a little bit about each of those and the ups and downs of what has been, like I said, an amazing week for WWE as a whole. So let's start with NXT Takeover Dallas. Now, I watched all of these like the day after they happened, so I didn't watch WrestleMania till the Monday, I didn't watch Raw till the Tuesday, and sorry guys. When I watched the NXT Takeover, I was like literally in shock. It's the first NXT pay-per-view that I have watched. I have watched a couple episodes of NXT, and I'm familiar with like the roster, but my god. It was just incredible. The first match with Jordan and Gable winning the tag titles, it was incredible. Like, they had so many different... The tag division, I don't know what the tag division is like as a whole in NXT, but as a tag team title match, it was way better than what WWE have been putting on recently with the New Day and whoever challenges them. Now, don't take that in the wrong way. I have nothing against the New Day. It's just they seem to work a lot better. Jordan and Gable and Dash and Dawson, the chemistry was like insane. Like the little spots like where he had his feet on the ropes and his partner put the towel over the back of his legs to go for the dirty pin. And then there was a part where Gable was trying to get to the corner to make the tag to Jordan, and one of the other two, either Dash or Dawson, went under the ring, pulled Jordan off the other side so he couldn't get the tag. Just little things like that just generated excitement. And I think because the crowd is like quite small and condensed at NXT, the noise that they generate is just incredible. Like the reactions, and all four people in that match played off the crowd so well, and it was insane. I can't wait to see Jason Jordan come up to WWE Raw or like onto the main roster, because he looks like the complete wrestler. He looks absolutely insane. So I really enjoyed that match. The next match, not so much. It started really well, in my opinion, and Baron Corbin's match with Austin Aries, I just wasn't... Maybe it's because I don't know too much into their characters. I've never seen Austin Aries before. I know a little bit about Baron Corbin. He's kind of like badass, goes on his own, takes no shit, all that. But I found it a little bit boring, if I'm honest. It wasn't something that I would look back and think, oh, that was like incredible, that match. Had one good little spot where he went to hit the End of Worlds, or whatever his finisher's called, and Austin Aries like backflip landed on his feet. That was pretty cool, and then got the pin. But other than that, that was a little bit of a bore for me. But my god, did the next one make up for it. The next match on the card was the debut of Shinsuke Nakamura and, of course, NXT's heart and soul, Sami Zayn. Now, how do you even start to talk about this match? Like, there aren't words that do it justice. It was absolutely incredible. It could very well be the match of the year, and we're only in March. It was that good. It was really that good. Nakamura looks like he's going to be like a hidden gem. He's fucking... I hope they don't do what they've done with AJ Styles at the moment, because I'll get round to that later when we get onto WrestleMania, but I don't think they're using Styles as well as they should do. And you know, with the reputation he's got outside the WWE, same as Nakamura, they could use him so much differently. Like, make a big storyline with him. But we'll get on to AJ Styles later. But Nakamura, what a debut. Absolutely incredible. I love the whole weird charisma kind of thing, like the weird stuff he does with his hands. He's just fucking awesome. He looks so good. And like the spot where Zayn goes for the clothesline and he like rolls up onto his shoulder, flips him into an armbar. That was just fucking insane. Such a good match. And Sami Zayn giving 110% as he always does. Mega thumbs up for Sami Zayn. Mega thumbs up for the match. It was, if you haven't seen it, guys, I definitely recommend that you go and watch it. If I wanted to turn a non-wrestling fan, like get them interested in wrestling, Nakamura versus Sami Zayn is the exact kind of match that I would put them in front of and say, watch this. This is why I love WWE. It was that good. Now, everybody, obviously, the next match was a little bit of a shock because, you know, unless they're going to make a jump up into the main roster, I don't know why they gave Asuka the title. Asuka versus Bayley. That's the only thing that I can get from this, is that they're going to bring Bayley up, and therefore that's why they've made her drop the title. If they don't, then fuck knows. I don't know why. You know, Bayley's like over as fuck in NXT. She even gets a chance in like on Raw, so not sure why they booked Bayley to lose it. Like I said, unless they're going to move her onto Raw or SmackDown, or both. Asuka looks like pretty crazy. She doesn't really, not from what I've seen anyway, she doesn't do a whole lot of talking, if any. But yeah, she'll be a good champion. She's not Bayley, but she'll be a good champion. But you know, why feel the need for a change if it's not broken? Don't try fix it, right? So, like I said, unless they're gonna move Bayley up, I don't think that was the right booking decision. The one thing I will say about the Bayley Asuka match is the last 3-4 minutes of it felt like watching 20 minutes. It felt like Bayley was in that hold forever. They definitely overplayed that spot, and she kind of like, it was a little bit like when Austin passed out to Bret Hart, refused to tap, just passed out. Bayley, they obviously wanted to show that she's not going to give up, you can't break her spirit, blah blah blah, and she ends up like passing out, and the referee calls a stop. But it was overplayed. She was in that hold for like, I swear it was like 2-3 minutes, which is a long time when you're just watching someone hold them down like on the mat. It's a long time. They definitely overplayed that, but it wasn't an awful match. But I think, like I said, unless they're going to put Bayley onto the main roster, then it was probably, for me anyway, the wrong booking decision, and probably the only one that they made of the night. The last match on the card, wow, do we have lots to talk about this match. Now, Finn Balor is another one. Had he lost to Samoa Joe, would we see Finn Balor on Raw? Probably yes, because he's like the biggest star on NXT. Does this now mean that the rivalry between Samoa Joe and Finn Balor is finished and we could see Samoa Joe come up? Or they got something else for them to do on NXT? Before we get into the actual match, I'll talk about Finn Balor's entrance. That's the first time I've seen his like full entrance in his whole demon paint and headdress and all that shit. And he come in with a chainsaw, like what the fuck? The crowd was super hyped. You can see as they're waiting for him to come out, like literally every person in the crowd with a mobile phone is recording the stage waiting for Finn Balor to come out. He got a good reaction. And so did Samoa Joe. The crowd were pretty split. There was like cheers for both of them. I don't think anybody got booed. I think the only booing that came in that match was for what happened at the very beginning. Finn Balor and Samoa Joe both, it looked like they both went in for a headbutt, and they actually clashed heads pretty bad. If you've seen it, then you'll know what I'm talking about. But if not, guys, basically Samoa Joe's his eyebrow, I think it was, it just fucking imploded. He had blood all over his face, dripping down onto his chest. And we're all stuck in the PG era kind of thing. All of the fucking doctors and the referee, they just kept trying to pull him to one side, and it slowed the match right down, and took away for what should have been the biggest match on the card. This is why, for me, Nakamura and Sami Zayn is the match of this card, and like I said, probably the match of the year, definitely so far. But yeah, he busted his eye open. The doctors kept pulling him over to one side, trying to stitch him up. And my God, what about the chants coming from the crowd? I mean, they were shouting things like "fuck PG," "fuck PG," "let Joe bleed," "let Joe bleed." Oh, it was fucking crazy. That the crowd really were not happy with the fact that the doctors kept trying to stop Samoa Joe, and even when they did, he just kept fucking bleeding anyway, because he's a big guy, he's running around, the fucking blood's pumping, he's got a massive gush on his face, of course he's going to keep bleeding. So they should have just fucking let it carry on, sort him out at the end, it kind of took away from what should have been, like I said, the biggest match on the card. But as a whole, especially for me watching it as my first NXT pay-per-view, I loved it. It was good. Like I said, Asuka Bayley was okay. It was a little bit overplayed at the end. It was a little bit unfortunate with Finn Balor and Samoa Joe. Can't be helped. Bashed heads, blood, doctors got to do what they got to do, but it could have been better on that. But yeah, Sami Zayn and Shinsuke Nakamura, what a match. That made the whole pay-per-view worth watching for me. And I really did enjoy the opening match of American Alpha versus the Revival. I think, like I said, Jason Jordan is going to be a huge talent whenever he finally makes it onto the main roster. So that was NXT Arrival, guys. We will move on swiftly to WrestleMania 32. Now, the opening match was the 7-man ladder match. I didn't watch the pre-show, just in case anybody's wondering. In the pre-show, we had Kalisto defend the United States Championship, and he actually beat Ryback. Haven't seen any more on that yet, so not sure where they're trying to go with that. There wasn't anything about it on Raw as far as I recall. Team Total Divas beat Team Bad and Blonde, and the Usos defeated the Dudleys in a tag team match. That was the pre-show. So the opening match for WrestleMania 32 then was Zack Ryder, Kevin Owens, Dolph Ziggler, Sami Zayn, Sin Cara, Stardust, and The Miz in a 7-man Intercontinental Championship ladder match. Had a couple of good spots. Simbara? I nearly called him... No, that was wrong. I went to say botch, and yeah, kind of they belong in the same sentence, Sin Cara and botch, but my point was, he actually didn't botch anything up. He had a spot where he jumped off the top of the ladder to Stardust laying on another ladder outside the ring, and he actually fucking done it how the spot was supposed to be played. It was awesome. Sami Zayn, again, he's just going to be huge, isn't he? He's going to be such a good WWE superstar. The fact he's over as fuck as well. You can't argue with that. The fans love him. They loved him on NXT. They love him on WWE. And Kevin Owens as well. Those two together, such great chemistry. You can tell the difference between two guys that put in the ring. Right, I'm working with you tonight. Blah blah blah. With you can tell. And then you got Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. Give it the let's fucking make this a moment. Let's make this a WrestleMania moment. And that's exactly what they did. Their energy was insane. And they were, I think they definitely brought the level of this match up, because it just seemed like superstar from the beginning. It seemed like Dolph Ziggler, then Zack Ryder, then Miz, then Stardust. Everyone was just kind of queuing up to get in the ring, do their little thing. Stardust had a little spot where he got the fucking polka dot ladder out and he was spinning with it on his head. Then Dolph Ziggler super kicked everybody, and then after that they roll out the ring and let somebody else have a go. And yeah, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn kind of broke that, stepped it up, and got the crowd fired up for it. So It was good. I really did not expect, I don't think anybody expected Zack Ryder to get the belt. We'll talk a little bit more about that later on, but as well. But yeah, that was a shock booking decision. Nobody seen that coming. Well, if you did, then you must be a fucking telepath, but I certainly didn't see it coming, and it was nice for Zack Ryder to win the Intercontinental Championship. The crowd seemed to go with it as well. It was quite good. It sounded like they were booing, but they were actually woo-woo-wooing, so it was okay. The next match on the card then was Jericho and Styles. Now, everybody has their own opinion of a superstar. This is mine. Don't dislike the video. Don't hate me for it, but my opinion of Chris Jericho is I can't stand him. I think he's arrogant as fuck. He's out of shape. I just think he's holding on and just doing it for cash. I think he's not in it anymore. He's just a whiny little bitch. Okay, you could say that's his character to play. Yeah, I get that, but okay, why is he like got the biggest pop belly going and, you know, they pay him all that money? Get yourself in shape, for fuck's sake. He looks awful. Let's stop while I'm ahead, because I could talk for ages about how much I dislike Jericho, but on the other hand, I really like AJ Styles, so my opinion for this match could probably be a little bit one-sided. I did have a feeling that they were going to let Jericho win. I think, you know, AJ's only been here, since the Rumble, so a couple of months, maybe his first WrestleMania. He wasn't ready to be given the, like, huge push. Well, at least at the time, that's what I thought. You know, AJ winning his first match at WrestleMania over a former fucking 6-time whatever he is champion would have been a huge push for him, and I didn't think he was ready for that. Yes, if you've seen Raw, then you know we're going to talk about this later. But the match itself was okay. There was a couple of good spots. Jericho taking, again, far too long to pin. And what the fuck is with the whole best in the world thing? I mean, if you know me, guys, and you watch my gaming channel, I love CM Punk, and best in the world is definitely CM Punk. So what the fuck is Jericho trying to do with that? Like, it's only going to piss off Punk, and again, that's what I mean. Jericho's just a dickhead. Why do it? He's far from the best in the world, in my opinion. So, Jericho, go fuck yourself. Styles, unlucky he didn't win. I can't really comment much on the next match. League of Nations and the New Day. I watched the entrance. I was like, this is fucking awesome. I was too excited because I'd heard about what happened at the end of the match, so I actually skipped through it because Sheamus, boring. King Barrett, boring. Rusev, boring. New Day, very entertaining, but League of Nations, just boring, guys. So I actually skipped through the match, but the most important part, and the thing that we want to talk about for this match, was definitely what happened at the end. Not one, not two, but 3 WWE legends, and I mean absolute legends who are over as fuck with the crowd, all came out at the same time in the ring and kicked shit out of League of Nations, and then were dancing with the New Day. If you don't know, I'm really sorry, super spoiler alert. If you do know, then give me a fucking hell yeah in the comment section. Austin came out with HBK and Mick Foley. How fucking awesome was that? That was so cool to see that. And then I liked a little bit as well with Kofi was twerking with Shawn Michaels. Big E was doing like the hip roll thing with Mick Foley. And of course, also, Austin wasn't gonna play ball, and Xavier Woods earned himself a stunner. It was a good laugh. It was a nice little spot, and I think that was like the perfect thing for the New Day to do as well. That was really good. Let's move on then. Brock Lesnar with Mr. Heyman against Dean Ambrose in a no-holds-barred street fight. Now, I actually had big hopes for this, and I'm surprised it was where it was on the card, because I thought it could have been where the Battle Royal was, or maybe even like I'll stick with that. Where the Battle Royal for the Andre the Giant Memorial Trophy was, I think they should have swapped it for this match, and it could have been a lot, not better, but longer. what I seen in the match was good. I like the fact that, you know, he got the Barbie out from Mick Foley. He even tried to start the fucking chainsaw. Ambrose is a nutter. I think there was something like 13 suplexes in the match as well. So if you're a fan of Suplex City, you definitely would have enjoyed that match. It was good. We got the little spot with the fire extinguisher. That was pretty cool as well. It just felt too short. I know they're kicking the shit out of each other with weapons and all that. Heyman didn't really have much involvement. I thought maybe he could have cost fucking Ambrose, like pulled the ref out on a 2 count or something, and Ambrose go after Heyman. That would have been pretty funny, but, well, not funny, entertaining, but the match itself wasn't bad. It just felt a little bit short. That's all I'll say for that one. Perhaps that's why, if it was planned like that, perhaps that's why it was where it was on the card. But anyway, it wasn't a bad match, but I just think it could have been longer. Moving on then, and Divas Revolution. Do we even say Divas anymore? Because this wasn't actually for the Divas Championship. This was for the newly presented WWE Women's Championship, which I absolutely love, by the way, guys. I think that the Women's Championship, like, it's pretty much a white with a red background replica of the World Heavyweight Championship, kind of to symbolize that women's wrestling is just as important as men's. They both now have that big title to go for. I really like that, and I think that was a fantastic move to kind of give out a little bit more credibility to how good our women's division is right now in WWE. What I will say about the entrance, Becky Lynch came out, cool. Charlotte comes out with Ric Flair, like she always does, and they make a big thing about, the gown that she's wearing was made from pieces of Ric Flair's retirement gown, and she looks awesome, and she's a champion and all this. And I was like, oh, well, that's fair, you know, she's the champion, so she should get a little bit more of attention on her entrance. Oh no, Sasha Banks then comes out with Snoop Dogg, newly WWE Hall of Fame inductee. And Sasha Banks has got her theme tune being rapped by the artist, and Snoop Dogg's chucking in lines in the rap as well. And I was just like, okay, cool, WrestleMania, do it, go one up and all that, but what about Becky Lynch? She just kind of came down. You know, they kind of forgot about her, and I think Becky Lynch should have had some sort of awesome entrance as well. Tell me if you agree, guys, or disagree with that one. I just kind of think 2 got better treatment than 1. And Becky Lynch is actually one of my favourites. She's awesome. I like Becky. The match itself was absolutely, in my opinion, guys, absolutely incredible. They were definitely the 3 women. They were the right choices to have that match at WrestleMania. I hate Charlotte. I'm not a fan of her at all. I think she does exactly what she's supposed to do as a heel, and that's make you dislike her. I'm going to Raw next week, and if I see her, I definitely will be booing her because she sucks. But I got to admit, in that match, you couldn't help but, you know, give a little round of applause, a little cheer for Charlotte, because she stepped it up. Her moonsault from the top rope to the outside of the ring was absolutely incredible. Technique perfect. What a spot that was in that match. Sasha was fantastic, as she always is. She was wearing a long wrestling tights, not the short bottoms like she usually wears, based on the ones that Eddie Guerrero wore. Eddie being Sasha's idol. And she had like the black and gold flame boots, just like Eddie had. And she actually hit a frog splash as well in the match. Was a really cool spot. The only thing that kind of got a little bit botched for me was, I don't know if it's just, you know, heat of the moment, nervousness. They must practice it, so to see them fuck it up twice in the same match on WrestleMania was a bit like, okay then. Becky Lynch either does not have a single idea how to sell the bank statement, or, like I said, they fucked it up twice. But Sasha went for it twice, and yeah, didn't happen. She kind of just like fell back onto her knees and then transitioned really awfully into like the face hold. There was no like rollover like she usually does, but it was good. The decision, Charlotte winning, Uh, uh, I suppose there is still more you can do with her, and while she's getting the reactions of the boos and all that, go with it. I'd like to see Nikki Bella come back and take it back from Charlotte. That's what I'd like to see. Or Paige, they don't do an awful lot with Paige recently, so they should get her involved. But, of course, everybody's favourite, and they want to see her with the women's title is Sasha Banks. I wouldn't mind that either. I'm quite happy with the Divas division, and I think the triple threat match at WrestleMania was a good representation of how far the women's division has come. And yeah, it was good. That's all I'm going to say on that one. Okay, so our next match was the highly anticipated Hell in a Cell match. And I think this was actually probably the one match on the card. Actually, I take that back because I don't think anybody saw Zack Ryder winning the ladder match, but other than that match, I think this was the one that nobody really knew what was going to happen. A lot of people had predicted that Shane would maybe get somebody to interfere and we could see a return. It didn't happen. Shane fought it out on his own. And yeah, there was some crazy spots in that match. Shane got chokeslammed onto some steps. Fucking Undertaker burst him out through the side of the cage. It was a crazy match. And of course, everybody remembers Mankind being thrown off the top of the cell, going through the table, but my God, Shane McMahon, what on earth? I mean, he's fucking 46 years old, for anybody who doesn't know. Shane is 46 years old. He's not a young guy anymore. A fall from the top of the cage, if it went wrong, it could fucking seriously fucked him up. But he didn't care. He climbed up to the top of that cell. He done his little north, south, east, west cross thing. And he jumped off the top of the cell, like, willingly. He jumped off the top of the cell. Undertaker rolled off the table. And he fucking just crashed through it. And everybody was like, oh my fuck. That was definitely the holy shit moment of WrestleMania 32. Absolutely insane. Hats off to Shane McMahon. He put in a huge fight. Undertaker just kind of... I don't know. I wasn't all that impressed with Undertaker. I think he's ready to retire. I think maybe they could have done it the other way. Had Shane win. And Undertaker could have retired. I think that would have worked as well, but... I don't know. That was okay. It was a good match, but I mean, like, for outcome wise, I don't know what they do now with Shane McMahon because, again, we'll talk a little bit more about Raw in a second, but other than the Raw that followed WrestleMania, I don't really know what else they do with Shane McMahon now. Maybe he is, or was, sorry, just a fill-in because of so many injuries like Seth Rollins and John Cena. Maybe he was just like somebody willing to do what Vince needed, somebody who knew how to work with The Undertaker, and probably the only guy fucking crazy enough to willingly jump off the top of Hell in a Cell. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Shane, but it was a good match. Next up then was the 20-man Battle Royal, and Baron Corbin, having previously lost on a couple nights ago on NXT Takeover Dallas, he comes into the 20-man Battle Royal and he defeats Kane of all people, which is like a big way to push him, get him over. He comes in, defeats Kane, and he is the winner of the Andre the Giant Memorial Trophy. Rolls out the ring, goes and does the little Andre the Giant pose by the trophy. All good. I reckon he's going to be pretty cool. We'll talk about Raw again in a second, but I reckon he's going to be pretty cool when he starts getting his run on Raw. One other thing to note in the Battle Royal then, of course, was the surprise appearance of Shaquille O'Neal. Now, not many people can stand in the ring with people like Kane and The Big Show and be like, yeah, I was bigger than them. But he literally was the biggest guy in the ring. Shaquille O'Neal is fucking huge. I didn't realize how big he was. He's absolutely massive. I mean, his feet were like, what the fuck? He must have like size 32 feet or something. He was fucking huge. But yeah, other than that, there wasn't all that too many spots, I don't think. Diamond Dallas Page was in the match. Other than that, I can't really... Nothing strikes my memory, so it couldn't have been anything like spectacular to remember in that one. What happened next, however, was pretty fucking spectacular. Now, everybody knew that The Rock was booked to appear at WrestleMania. He was going to host or do something. He confirmed it like on his Twitter, like months before WrestleMania. So we knew The Rock was going to be there. One big question that... Actually, before I go on to that, let's not give it away too early. The Rock's entrance, he comes out with a flamethrower, sets alight this thing that says Rock, and it's all like soaked in oil, so it burns. It says Rock. It looks awesome. He comes out, announces that WWE have broken their record attendance, and it's like 101,000 or something, which is fucking awesome. It did look it as well. I don't think they made this one up. It looked like there was that many people there. It was absolutely packed from what we could see. Now, onto what I was going to say. A big question that everybody had before WrestleMania was, why did the Wyatt family not have anything to do? Now, this all became very clear when the Wyatts come out to confront The Rock. Now, my first impression was like, oh, they're going to kick the shit out of him. I didn't know, well, I didn't expect what followed to actually happen. They done it so well. Fucking, The Rock's like, whoa. We're not going to have a WrestleMania fight. We're going to have a WrestleMania match. He rips off his fucking bottoms. Off comes the top. On goes the armband. And he's ready. And not only was he ready, he steps up with Eric Rowan. Literally straight into a rock bottom. 1, 2, 3, 6 seconds. I'm pretty sure it was a new record, was it not? Fucking awesome. The Wyatts then surround him. They're not happy. Obviously, The Rock is fucking... just made him look like a complete idiot. And who, of all people, should come down the ramp and help to save the day? Of all people, I mean, I am not a fan. I am not a hater. But I tell you now, guys, when John Cena's music hit, I fucking nearly come out my chair. I popped big time. And so did everybody else at WrestleMania. John Cena got a fantastic reception, and well, what do you say about John Cena? He is fucking Superman, isn't he? He put up a video the other day, like, I was told it was impossible to bench press before 6 months. 3 months and I'm bench pressing, and he's just incredible. The guy's made of like elastic and magic. It's fucking insane. He came out, helped The Rock, defend off the Wyatts, and then The Rock and Cena, you know, considering their history and the two main events that they had at WrestleMania's previous, who would have thought that they'd be side by side fighting off the Wyatts? Especially with the, you know, I don't think anybody expected The Rock to actually have a match, and nobody really thought that we'd see Cena because he's injured, of course. So yeah, that was a nice thing to see. That got the excitement going again. After what is a very long night. It was a really long WrestleMania. So yeah, that was awesome. They walked up the ramp, and can't remember if it was The Rock or Cena, but one of them raises the other one's hands, and it's just fucking awesome. The fans loved it. It was really good. It was awesome. And that takes us then to the final match of WrestleMania 32. The main event. Where do we even start? Stephanie McMahon is hot as fuck. The entrance for her was really good. Stephanie is, for me, she's quite underrated. I do find the authority promos quite boring, especially when you get 2 in one night and they're like 20 minutes long. But Stephanie is actually quite good on the mic. Her little speech that she gave prior to Triple H coming out was pretty awesome. And like I said, she looked hot as fuck. Stephanie McMahon, damn. She looked good, guys. If you haven't seen it, search that up. She looked real good. Triple H comes out. Roman Reigns comes out to an absolute thunderous, echoing boo. Did we expect anything less? Of course not. We've been showing it for weeks. We've seen it for weeks on Raw. it was always going to happen. They were going to boo him. Of course they were. And I think this was probably pretty much the opposite to the Hell in a Cell match. This was the most predictable match on the card. I think everybody expected Roman Reigns to win, and pretty much everybody in the same boat didn't want him to. They didn't want to see Reigns win the title as a face, and it happened. They actually done it. One big spot in the match, Stephanie gets involved and she ends up getting speared. That generated a few people a lot of people actually, if you watch it, standing up out of their seats, and it generated a pop. That was pretty cool, seeing Steph get speared. He absolutely fucking nailed her as well. It wasn't like a gentle little love tap. He actually speared Stephanie McMahon. That was pretty cool. And yeah, he walks out of WrestleMania as a face, as the new WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Not much more to say about it than that, guys. It is what it is. Hopefully they'll do something that we want to see, like turn him heel, hint, hint, WWE, in the coming weeks. Who knows? We'll see. On the whole then, WrestleMania 32 for me was awesome. I'm not going to let the Roman Reigns match, the reaction from the crowd, ruin what otherwise was a good night. The Hell in a Cell match was pretty fucking awesome, with Shane jumping off the top. I really enjoyed the Divas match. The thing with Austin and HBK, Mick Foley all coming back, and then the surprise little thing that we had with Rock and Cena. It was a good WrestleMania. Lots of WrestleMania moments, and if you haven't seen it, guys, go watch that shit. There's plenty of places that you can go watch it, or watch the highlights on YouTube that WWE post up. Definitely do that. Now we've spoke about both NXT Takeover and WrestleMania. For me, as a match, the Sami Zayn Nakamura match was still, and I honestly can say it was still, the best match out of the two cards so far. It was fucking awesome. Seriously, guys, it was awesome. Last thing I want to talk about to you then, in this, what is turning out to be a very long video, but I'm sure you guys have got lots of opinions and I want to hear them in the comment section as well. But we move on to the final of the three things that we came to talk about, and that was the following Monday night on Raw. Now, it's notoriously loud and like a rowdy crowd, and they love it, and it's usually fucking explosive, and this one, I'm quite happy to say, was no different. It was a fantastic Raw. The first little thing that we get then is Vince comes out, and he's saying about Shane getting the shit kicked out of him, and he enjoyed it, blah, blah, blah. Shane then comes out. Huge ovation, huge cheers. And he says goodbye, starts walking off, and the whole crowd are doing the no, 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 no. And then they actually start chanting, let him run it. Now, whether this was just an on-the-spot thing, or it actually did look like it was an on-the-spot thing, because fucking the crowd started chanting it, and then Vince kind of looked at Shane, and then he came out with what he did. But I don't know, maybe it was, maybe it wasn't planned, but Vince then goes, no, nobody upstages me on my show. You people say and do nutty things. One night only, let's see what you got. How fucking amazing is that? Shane McMahon is in control of Monday Night Raw the night after WrestleMania. That is a fucking awesome opening to Raw. It got everybody excited, and I think that's what it was supposed to do. Next up, we had the New Day taking on the League of Nations. Now, the match itself wasn't all that great. I very much enjoyed the New Day coming out and their little segment at the start before the match. How funny is fucking... What is his actual name? It's like Axel, so I don't know his name. Begins with it. Austin, I think. Austin Creed, is that his name? Something like that? I don't know. Xavier Woods. Let's keep it simple. Xavier Woods is so funny, guys. He fucking singing the Lion King as he raises up the last piece of WrestleMania Booty-O cereal. That was awesome. I really thought that was quality. And like I've already said, the crowds are usually like super hyped in that the night after WrestleMania, but the crowd loved New Day. They were doing the whole New Day rock, and as Big E went to say, "We are your," and then the whole crowd, like literally what sounded like the whole crowd went, WWE World Tag Team, and the fucking New Day even looked shocked. It was just awesome. Super, super good on the microphone. Looking forward to seeing lots more of the New Day. And I will be getting myself a Booty O's t-shirt because they make sure I'm not booty. At the end of the match then, guys, I think the whole point of this segment was to set up King Barrett leaving the League of Nations. Not sure why they're doing it. Not sure what they're going to do with it. But Sheamus turns on Barrett, says he's the weakest link. The other two hold him up. Bro kick. And there we go. King Barrett is not in the League of Nations anymore. What also happened, I might add as well, what also happened was the Wyatts came out. How did I forget this? The Wyatts came out and the crowd, well, we all love the Wyatts. We all love Bray Wyatt. He looked awesome as well. I like what he's done with his hair. Am I the only one that thinks his hair looked different? It looks awesome anyway. But yeah, that was good. Next up we had Summer Rae come out and fucking start giving the big guns, like mouthing off, saying how if she was team leader of Bad and Blonde, the team would have won and all that at WrestleMania, and then she does probably the worst thing she can possibly do. She insults Sasha Banks, saying, bad things about her WrestleMania match. Sasha comes out, match starts, Banks statement, boom. Pretty cool. It wasn't a whole lot of a long match. It was just nice to see Sasha come out, get a huge cheer on that. But it didn't really do anything. Unless they're going to make a story out of it, it didn't really do anything story-wise. Next up is the first of several debuts that we've seen on Raw. Whether it had something to do with the whole Shane McMahon's in control, let's get some NXT debuts, so that people think Shane's giving them a chance, or I don't know what they're trying to do with it, but they gave out, I think, 4 debuts, all to NXT people on the same night, which is a lot for WWE. But having just won the 20-man Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, we got to see Baron Corbin defeat Dolph Ziggler, and yeah, that's the start of what looks like a little push that they're going to give to him. I think he'll go awesome with somebody like someone like Kevin Owens. I think could bring the best out of Baron Corbin, and I'm pretty sure they would have at some point worked together and had matches on NXT in the past. So maybe someone like Sami Zayn or like I said, Kevin Owens could help Baron Corbin become like as big on the main roster as Sami and Kevin have. That would be pretty cool, because he does look, I'm not going to say boring, but let's just not say anything. Let me know what you guys think about Baron Corbin, because it could go one of two ways. He could fade out completely like Tyler Breeze has, or they could make him into the next successful person like Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Next up then, guys, another debut. We got to see Apollo Crews versus Tyler Breeze. Now, I don't really know much about Apollo Crews. He wasn't on TakeOver Dallas as far as I've seen, unless he was on the pre-card. But my God, he just looks like a shorter version of Bobby Lashley. He does like fucking backflips and shooting star flips and all sorts. He has like insane power. He absolutely demolishes Tyler Breeze with like a spinning power bomb where he lets go of it. Oh, just crazy. Go and watch the highlights of it. What an impressive debut. He tore through Tyler Breeze, and if they can give him a good rivalry, good storyline, I reckon he could be huge, because athletically and like technique and the physical side of it, he looks absolutely top class. So let's see what they're gonna do with Apollo Crews. But yeah, the second NXT star of the night to get a debut on the Raw after WrestleMania, which again is a good thing. Next up then, Roman Reigns comes out. The boos, do they turn down like the sound of the crowd to try and make it less? Do they do that, guys? I'm not sure, because I swear the boos went boo. Do you know what I mean? It was like really fucking loud, and then all of a sudden it went a little bit less. And I reckon they're still trying to cover up the fact that people are booing the shit out of Roman Reigns because they don't like the fact that he's a face. Roman Reigns, actually, we saw a little bit different on that night at Raw because he looked quite smug. He was like, I'm not a good guy, I'm not a bad guy, I'm the guy. And, you know, that's not like Roman Reigns to be, like, egotistical kind of thing. He's not really like a smug person, so, well, not that we've seen so far. So maybe it was just Roman, like, maybe it was an actual person getting a little bit shitty with all the boos, because he does put in like hard work, and he hasn't done an awful lot long. I can't remember the point where I stopped cheering Roman Reigns and we started booing him. I can't actually remember when that happened. It just kind of did. So maybe it was just him being frustrated and being a bit sarky. But I don't know. Are we seeing a different side of what they're going to develop as his character? Like a smug kind of, you know, I'm okay, I look after myself kind of person? Who knows? He wasn't out there on his own for long. Jericho comes out demanding a title shot. AJ Styles follows out, obviously because he's interested in Jericho. Kevin Owens comes out, having lost the Intercontinental Championship. I'm glad Kevin Owens is in this title picture now, because he just would put on a hell of a fucking match with anybody. I think he's so talented. But yeah, Kevin Owens comes out, and then of course Sami Zayn follows as well. So you've got Reigns, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, AJ Styles and Chris Jericho all in the ring. Jericho and Styles start going at it. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens start going at it. And Roman Reigns just kind of like watching, like, do what you got to do, guys. Reigns hits Jericho with a spear. I think that was pretty much it. I think this is what set up what was supposed to be the fatal four-way match to decide the number one contender for Reigns' title. So we'll speak a little bit more about that in a minute. The next match on the card was Zack Ryder, the new Intercontinental Champion, putting the title on the line against The Miz. Now, whilst I do agree that they don't use The Miz as best as they could, and they should give him something to do rather than just be a jobber, I don't think they should have done what they done, guys. Zack Ryder lost the Intercontinental Championship to The Miz. Why would you let him win it at WrestleMania, have a big moment, surprise us all, for him to lose it the very next night? I just don't get it. I don't get what they were doing there, because Zack Ryder was over with the fans, you know. I don't understand what they done, but yeah, Miz is the Intercontinental Champion. Miz's wife slaps Zack Ryder's father in the crowd. Zack Ryder becomes distracted, gets hit with a skull-crushing finale, and that is that. Wasn't the best part of the night. Let's move on. Lita on Raw. Yes. Lita. Yes. Lita comes out, guys, to present, like officially present, the new Women's Championship, and she's accompanied in the ring by all the divas, Charlotte, Becky, Sasha, Natalia, you know, like everybody is out there. Team Bad and all of them are out there. The fans were a little bit crazy at this point. They started the whole we want Bayley, and hey, we want some Bayley, and Bayley, will you be my girl? And pretty much every other Bayley chant that you can possibly think of. Charlotte done okay. I think for the level of experience that she has, I don't think she has any other experience other than the short time that she's been on Raw. So for the experience level that I think she has, I think she done well to deal with how the crowd was, because you couldn't hear shit that she was saying over the crowd. The crowd was so loud. But she did finally get her little promo out and started showing the whole me, it's all about me, and I'm great, and my father's great, And the first person who's like, fuck this, I've had enough, Sasha Banks. Walks out the ring, Becky follows, shortly followed by every diva in the ring. They all get out, kind of like, fuck you, Charlotte, you selfish bitch. It's not all about you. One thing to note, the WWE Universe chanting women's wrestling, women's wrestling, that was fucking awesome. And you have you are 100% right to be chanting that, because women's wrestling has definitely fucking kicked it up. Let's see if they can have like a tag team revolution and do the same with our tag division, because it is poor. Natalia's left in the ring, and I can't remember what she said. Something about, I think Charlotte says something like, my family will always be genetically superior to your family, obviously referring Ric Flair, Bret Hart. Now, Natty's like, why don't you put your family legacy against mine? So, could they be setting up Natalya for a push? I'd like to see that. I think Natalya's underused. She's fucking awesome. Very good wrestler. Notice how I didn't say very good women's wrestler, because they really have stepped it up, and this kind of segment was kind of just to celebrate that a little bit, and also to show that Charlotte's a bitch. Moving on then, and this was my favourite part of the night. Usos and the Dudley Boys. Now, I skipped through the match because I am bored by watching flying Usos and non-table using Dudleys. However, the end of the match was absolutely the best moment for me of Raw that night. The debut of Enzo Amore and Colin Cassidy. Now, I have not seen these guys before. I've played with them on NXT, on WWE 2K16. Had a few matches. Enzo Amore's in the tutorial and that, but I've never actually seen them. My God, well, I don't know about but Enzo Amore is like straight out from the Attitude Era. He absolutely owns that microphone. He looks like, do you know what? He reminds me a lot of Road Dogg. He reminds me a lot of Road Dogg with his microphone skills. Starts giving shit to the Dudleys. Some of the things he said, like, I'm a mic talker, Skywalker, and I got a mic saber for a hater. He was like, what did he say to Bubba? Something like, I've got the gift of the gab and the gift of the jab. So we all know you got a lazy eye. Come in there and I'll slap it working again, or some shit like that. Just funny shit. You could hear like people actually laughing loud in the crowd. It was fucking awesome. What did he say to Bubba? The tears run down the back of your head to avoid your face. You're so ugly. Just fucking brilliant. Great material. And then my favourite chant of the night as well was the oh, Enzo Amore. I fucking loved it. Loved it, guys. Go check it out if you haven't seen it yet. So, yes, don't be soft. SWAFT, or however you fucking RESPTCS. Yeah, you know, it doesn't matter how you spell it. Don't be soft. Go check it out. Colin Cassidy and Enzo Amore's debut. Fantastic. Right then, guys, the last part that we're going to talk about of Raw, and the very last part of this, what's turning into pretty much an hour of me talking, so I hope you got lots and lots to talk to me about in the comment section, was of course the WWE World Heavyweight number one contender Fatal 4-Way. Kevin Owens attacks Sami Zayn backstage, puts him through a table. Sami Zayn is no longer medically cleared to participate in the match, as the ring announcer lets us know. However, this still will be a Fatal 4-Way, and the fourth competitor is none other than the returning, might I add, to a huge fucking pop from the crowd, Cesaro. He comes out in a suit, rips the suit off, he's ready to go, and my God, every time he went on the offense in that match, he got shitloads, and I do mean shitloads of cheers from the crowd. He went on an uppercutting spree, uppercutting the shit out of everybody. He looked incredible, and it's so nice to see Cesaro back in a WWE ring. Cesaro also flinged like all three of them off the top rope at the same time. It was fucking really good to see him back. The result was AJ Styles winning and becoming the number one contender. Now, I don't know about you guys. If you've seen it, then let me know if you agree with me. AJ Styles generally looked shocked that he just won. Obviously, he knew he was going to win, but that looked like the kind of look that you can't fake. You can't act. He actually looked shocked that he is now the number one contender for Roman Reigns' title. I was shocked. I didn't see it coming, and now they are finally giving AJ a push. So my little thing I was talking about earlier at WrestleMania, where I said, I don't think he was ready for a push, and then the other half of me was kind of like, I wish they gave him a push. Now we will get to see it. They're gonna give him a push. He's in the title picture. He is the number one contender. We are gonna see Reigns versus Styles. Now, what can we take from this? What do we kind of predict is going to happen? AJ Styles is face. He's a face superstar. He's over as fuck. Like, old school, hardcore, die-hard wrestling fans are not going to want to see Styles lose to fucking Reigns. Everyone's going to want Styles to win. Now, the only way I think WWE can make this work, and I pray this is what they're doing, turn Reigns heel against Styles. It would work phenomenally. No pun intended. Would have been much better if I managed to say the fucking word right, guys. A couple things that I just want to point out and maybe add for you guys to comment on in the comment section. We saw no Dean Ambrose. Thought we might have seen Dean Ambrose. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I didn't actually see any of Kalisto or Ryback. They had like a big man versus little man. He's the US champ. Where were they? No time for the US champ no more? Who knows? Anyway, guys, if you have made it all the way to the end of this video and you've heard me talk about all this stuff, then you're a fucking legend. Congratulations, and I look forward to hearing your opinions on these topics in the comment section, guys. If you have enjoyed it, if you enjoyed Takeover Dallas, if you enjoyed WrestleMania 32, or if you enjoyed the Raw after WrestleMania, or all three, or even all four with this video included, that's a lot of shit to like, hit the like button. That's what it comes down to. Subscribe to the channel as well. I look forward to doing some more videos soon, and I look forward to having a discussion with you in the comment section with your opinions, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all soon.